We go to the U.S. Supreme Court, where Joe Biden today reaffirmed his commitment to using race and gender as the basis for deciding who to nominate to fill Justice Breyer's soon-to-be vacant seat. Here's Joey earlier today.
The person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court. I'll meet with the potential nominees, and it is my intention to announce my decision before the end of February. I have made no choice at this point. Thank you all so very, very much for being here, and I'm not going to take any questions because I think it's inappropriate to take questions with the justice here. He's still sitting on the bench.
I'm not allowed. I can't do it. They're going to yell at me and everything, and I won't get my ice cream cone. Anyway, so right off the bat, Biden is excluding all potential candidates who are not African-American women. But ask yourself, isn't this agenda in and of itself discriminatory? Imagine we put out a poll. We said, OK, next time I'm on vacation, you get to pick the fill-in for this show, and they have what two categories only can you choose from? You decide. Would that be fair? Anyway, picking candidates based on race and gender, it's not only extremely divisive, but likely unconstitutional. The Supreme Court, in its own jurisprudence, has ruled that classifications based on race are subject to the strictest of scrutiny and has found that discrimination based on race unconstitutional. And as law professor Jonathan Turley has pointed out, the president will only consider a black woman for the next nomination, a threshold gender and race condition that the court itself has found unconstitutional for schools and unlawful for private businesses. So the question is it okay for Joe to do it, and why is he doing it? Is it, it's not because he's deeply concerned about racial justice. We know that's a lie, because remember, he did work with Robert, the former Klansman Byrd. He wanted to stop the integration of schools because he was worried about schools becoming, in his words, racial jungles. No, Joe Biden is being bullied into the decision by the new extreme left. They're using the Supreme Court pick as another way to flex their power, show their strength. It's identity politics on steroids. In short, Biden was forced to make this decision. For example, far-left New York Congressman Jamal Bowman tweeting out, "Mr. President, you promised us a black woman on the Supreme Court. Let's see it happen." Congresswoman Presley added, quote, "It is time for a black woman on the Supreme Court." Now, this all raises the question, how much was Breyer forced out? Is he retiring on his own terms, on his own timeline? Apparently not. We're also learning tonight that South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn single-handedly helped save Joe Biden's candidacy after poor showings in Iowa and New Hampshire. Sounds like Jim Clyburn is admitting that he had a quid and a pro and a quo with old Joe. In terms of, OK, Clyburn would save Joe's faltering campaign and use South Carolina and his popularity, which is huge in South Carolina, in exchange extract a promise from Joe only to put an African-American female on the Supreme Court. Is that the only deal they made? Is there more to that deal? What other deals might be out there? And furthermore, ask yourself, if far-left Democrats and the mob and the media are so concerned about racial diversity on the court and so concerned with racial and gender justice, why are they so hell-bent on smearing Clarence Thomas every chance they get? Remember over at MSDNC, he was just recently referred to as Uncle Clarence. Listen to the ladies on the hard-hitting news show on ABC, The View, actually suggesting that Justices Thomas and Amy Coney Barrett are traitors to their race and their gender for not being far-left activist judges that they want. Take a look.
You pointed out, first black woman. There's only been 2 black men in it. Those numbers are a little shocking.
And one doesn't really represent the black community.
No.
But the Supreme Court is like this dictatorial branch of the government. These are people who are appointed by their own people. They do not answer to the country. Amy Coney Barrett was put in there because she's a white woman who they say, well, she'll go against abortion rights, and she's a woman. So that was deliberate, I think. Clarence Thomas, a black guy, a black man, a justice, okay, I'll give it to him. He's a smart guy. But he is to the right of Attila the Hun, this guy, and they put him in there thinking, oh, a black man will go against voting rights, which is what he does.
And it was
Identity politics, flat-out racism and bigotry, but to the mob, the media, there's only one standard for Democrats and then another standard for far-left judges and then one standard for the rest of us. When it comes to selecting judges, respecting the rule of law, judicial philosophy, the commitment to upholding the Constitution should be the main factors determining who you're going to pick. Now, these important decisions should not be made solely based on race or based on gender. In fact, it's disrespectful to the nominee to do so. But because Biden's presidency is frankly imploding, even Democrats and the media mob are now admitting it, he is now desperate to try and placate his Democratic base that he's losing in droves. As new numbers now show him at an absolutely low, dismal 34% approval rating in the key state of Georgia. Look at this poll from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. By the way, they didn't like me. They actually said in their year-end edition about me in 1996, it was a great year for Atlanta. The Olympics came and Sean Hannity left. I left to come to Fox News. Anyway, it's no secret why Stacey Abrams wanted to be nowhere near Biden when he was in Atlanta earlier this month. Joe Biden is failing on policy, failing on messaging, failing everywhere in between. As Gallup finds, Biden crashing when it comes to key character traits like leadership, government management, and good judgment during times of crisis. I'd also add cognitively as well. Empty rhetoric, empty promises, empty shells, and empty suit. That's pretty much sums up the Joe Biden presidency. And now he's so desperate for a political win, he's willing to go all out and try and appease the radical extreme left, who are now pulling the strings and have been pulling the strings of this failed presidency. For Democrats, Joe Biden, it's politics first. It's you, the American people. We're dead last. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.